All right, guys, so it's kind of been a while since I've really done anything on my channel here. Of course, this channel started out as a backpacking page. I haven't posted anything backpacking related in probably a year and a half now. Just kind of haven't been out backpacking. More recently, I have posted a couple of videos talking about bikes. And truth be told, the reason those bikes even came along is because of my camper here. We bought this camper in April 2018. It was actually Friday 13th, April 2013, that we bought this camper. And to be fair, we did kind of buy it because of a backpacking trip. I originally bought this thing thinking that my wife could, or we could pull it while I was going to do the JMT in 2018, and then my wife could kind of hang out in the camper. And afterwards, you know, we can kind of meet back up and come back home. I thought it would just be cheaper than renting a hotel room for almost a whole month. So we ended up picking it up. Of course, that never actually happened as far as using the camper for that. However, we have gotten some good use out of it in the last, it's been 2 years, 2 months, and like 1 week since we, the dogs just ran after something. Anyway, it's just been a little over 2 years and 2 months since we've had it now. We've probably spent just over 70 nights in it, and we've probably put about 6,000 miles on the camper, I'd say. Most of that being on a trip that we just recently got back from. It was almost 4,000 miles round trip. I did that in 8 days. Really fun time. But anyway, we've really been enjoying the camper. So I've been posting some pictures. And actually, my buddy Craig said, you ought to just do a YouTube channel talking about campers. And, you know, honestly, I kind of have thought about it. I've actually came out and did some recordings. I just never really got around to doing anything with them. So this morning I decided I'd come out and give it one more shot and maybe get this thing published. So anyway, what I want to do is just kind of tell you what camper I have, just kind of tell you some of the specs about it, and then just kind of show you around. And then once that gets done, assuming that does get done, I'll go ahead and start looking at some more specific systems and talking about those things in specific. Because like backpacking and bikes, there's a lot of extra stuff that goes into it. And I do enjoy talking about that stuff. I enjoy trying that stuff out, so maybe I'll get to that. So anyway, as far as the camper itself, it is obviously a Starcraft camper. They are actually owned by Thor, same company that owns Jayco and Airstream and several other brands. But anyway, this is a Starcraft. It's a 2018 model. It is a 21FB is what the model is, and they usually stamp those things here kind of beside the door here. Just kind of give you an idea what that means. That means it's 21 feet long, and FB stands for front bed. Usually the numbers represent the length as far as how long the campers are interior, which means the inside living space. However, if I was to actually measure from the front of my hitch to the back of my bumper, it actually comes in at 26 feet long. So this is a fairly small camper. It's not really a big camper. I did not get anything with slides, simply because in my eyes, slides is something else to fix. Saying that, over the past 2 years, I have done some modifications inside the camper. I've removed some things to make up more room, and I'm not completely opposed to slides. However, I am opposed to slides that have things on it that are electrical or plumbed, simply because that slide's going in and out, and that's just, besides the slide breaking, then potentially, you know, a water line or something electrical can kind of get in there and get snagged, and you'd have to fix that. So anyway, as far as the camper itself, this thing has a dry weight rating of 4,200 pounds, and it has a gross vehicle weight rating of 6,000 pounds. Most of the time, I'm at about the 5,000 pound mark. The trip that we recently took, I was probably closer to about 5,700 pounds, I'd say, because I actually filled the freshwater tank with about 45 gallons of water. That gave us the ability to be able to dry dock, because we also have a generator. Typically, though, we go to local campgrounds that have power and water, so we typically don't ever put water in our freshwater tank to go out. So that's not usually an issue, and most of that's because we pull this thing with a Pathfinder, and we really need something a little more powerful to pull this thing with. So eventually we'll get there. But anyway, that is why we rented a Ford F-250 with diesel to pull this thing cross country, and I absolutely fell in love with that thing. So anyway, back to the camper. So like I said, it is 21 feet long, 4,200 pounds empty. We keep it at about 5,000 pounds. And just kind of give you a walk around here. Of course, I love stickers. I put a lot of stickers on things. Starting at the front, one thing I did is, because we use a generator, I did swap out my propane tanks to 30-pound tanks. I also added this toolbox here for my battery and just a little extra storage compartment. And then of course I've got all my hookups and stuff right there on the front. We've got a completely, it goes from one side to the other. This is a storage basement, compartment, whatever you want to call it. We have a lot of stuff in there. That's not something I'm going to get to in this video as far as what's there. Got a bedroom window, front door. I've got a vent for the fan that's over the stove. I got outdoor speakers, of course, a porch light, kitchen window there with a little sticker on it. This is a window that sits over our, used to be dinette, now it's a bar. I got more stickers on the back here. And then coming around to the back, of course, I do have an awning. I forgot to mention that. I think it's 18 feet long is the awning. It's electric awning. Looking at the back, of course, I got a spare tire. And then I've got my bike rack. It'll hold 2 bikes. I got another window just kind of looking out the back. Of course, our custom sticker, a Little Bit. That we've named our trailer after our first dog. Her name was Little Bit. And she was a little dog, and you know, we kind of lost her, and we kind of named this trailer after her. So it's a Little Bit. And then over here on this side, of course, we've got all the hookups, because technically this would be the back of the house. We've got another window here, just kind of over the sofa that's in there. Got cable, power, furnace, exhaust there. Freshwater fill is here. Then we've got our hot water heater, refrigerator. We've got a shower. It does have hot and cold water hookups in there, or not hookups, but there's hot and cold water knobs. And then we've got city water here. And then of course we've got another window over our bed, and then the other side of our storage compartment. So anyway, so that's pretty much it there. Like I said, I'm gonna go inside and turn on some lights so you can kind of see, and then I'll do a little more video, show you around the inside. And then, like I said, if this goes well, I'll go ahead and do I'll do some follow-up videos, kind of start talking about some other specific things like water and power. So hold on a second. Okay, so walking in here, we do have 2 stairs here we have to come up. Of course, this is our door, and it's amazing how much stuff that these campers don't come with. Hold on, Mr. Luke. We're not going to go in right now. You're all wet and yucky. But anyway, for point of reference, I had to add this bar, had to add this screen protector here. Otherwise, it was just this this mesh screen here, and the dogs, I didn't want them to just kind of push that thing out trying to get out, so we had to put this up. But those are just some examples. There's a lot of things that these campers nowadays don't come with, and we have to kind of do on our own. So anyway, this is looking into the back side of our camper. And just so you know, I do have this camera set to 0.5 setting, so it's a wide frame, and it probably looks a little bigger than what it actually is. Like I said, it's only 21 feet long, and you can definitely feel it. So just kind of looking, you can see I've got a kitchen area here. I do have a microwave. You know, we've added all kinds of hooks and thermostats or thermometers and stuff everywhere. That's just stuff that you just customize to your heart's desire. But we've got kind of, you know, our microwave here. We do have a stove here. It's got 3 burners on it. It is propane. And then of course we've got an oven down there. We've got our converter down here at the bottom. Got our sink. I actually changed out the faucet on the sink. That's our, you know, window looking out. We've got some storage space up here where we keep, you know, glasses and plates and stuff like that. And this is stuff that it just takes time to learn how to organize all that stuff. Coffee pot, definitely got to have a coffee pot. And then this is our cheap little information station here. It's got, you know, it tells us how much battery we've got, fresh water, black water, and gray water. And then it's where I also turn on my hot water heater, my water pump. And then if I had an electric heater inside, or you know, electric rod inside the water heater, I could turn it on here too, but I only have propane. I didn't kind of like that at first, but now I'm actually happy with that. Then of course under the sink, I've got under the sink storage. I've got a couple of drawers there to put stuff. Now this is the difference that I've made. There used to be a dinette here, and it went from the back of this shelf space here, or this cabinet or countertop, all the way to that back wall. So what I did was I completely removed that and put this bar in here. And just so you know, actually where my generator is sitting, that was about, actually the edge of the dinette may have even came over just a little bit farther. So that was pretty much all the space that we had here. So by taking that dinette out, I actually opened up all this space. And it's really been nice because you saw one dog in the video just now. I've got two fairly large sized dogs that we do take with us. And then my daughter usually comes with us. And on our recent trip, my son even came with us. So having this this just kind of bar here now, I've got storage space here. We usually put bottled water and Gatorade and stuff here. That's not in the fridge. I've got two storage compartments that we can sit on. Plus, there's things inside the stools there. So we have that. I do have some bottled water that I keep with us. That's a 3-gallon bottle of water we make coffee and stuff with. Of course, we got a little hanging basket for snacks and stuff. And then just more storage up here. Usually my coffee pot would go here. I've got all my documents and stuff as far as the camper's concerned stored up here in case I need any kind of information, and then just random things thrown in these other things. I did put a 32-inch television in here. It's a Roku TV, so if I ever have internet where I'm at, I can actually hook stuff up. Got a little shelf that my daughter actually built for me. This was a really fun project, so we mounted that up here. Got some more storage space up there. This is actually where I keep sleeping bags and sleeping pads and stuff like that. I do carry a tent with us in case we ever want to use a tent. And then this is something that I'm not really going to talk much about now, but it's something that I really enjoy. So this is my Fridge Defend ARP, and this is my EMS, and I would suggest everybody have one of these for a camper. This I would still suggest everybody have, but it's more of a, I'll get into those later in another video if everything kind of works out. But anyway, so looking down here, I've got my sofa, and it does pull out to make a sleeping surface, but my kids actually don't like that. They prefer putting sleeping pads on the floor and sleeping on the floor. Then over here, I have some more storage space here, just really a pantry. You know, we keep snacks and stuff in there, and then I keep my dog's food and stuff up here. My water pump is actually under there. My furnace is actually underneath the sofa here. And then my hot water heater is actually underneath this area below the refrigerator. And then we have our fridge. And this is something experimental I did. We put this contact paper up here to see if we like it. We haven't taken it down yet, so far I guess we kind of like it. But anyway, it is nice. It's, you know, a normal fridge. It's, of course, a little bit smaller. But it's a normal fridge, normal freezer. You know, we've got food in there from our last trip that we didn't eat. Other than that, you know, we've got decorations and stuff everywhere. We've really enjoyed decorating the camper and stuff. So moving up, we've got our bathroom here. Hey, that's me. So anyway, so with our bathroom, I did add that little shelf to the wall. Other than that, I changed out the shower head. This is an oxygenic shower head. That's actually the first thing we changed in our camper when we got it. Something I changed this year was I added this fantastic fan. I did just have just a vent in here. It did not have a fan at all, and it's so nice now I can actually open that up and turn a fan on. It'll both suck and push air through, so depending on what direction you want it to go through. And I will say it makes a big difference. A couple of nights that we boondocked in Walmart parking lots, we were able to just open some windows and turn this fan on, and that created enough of a breeze through here that we were comfortable. So otherwise, it's just a stand-in shower. Got some storage space up under the cabinet for the sink. Got us a little toilet there, some more decorations, and our towel rack, which is one of the first lessons I learned. As you can see, I do have some screws in some of these areas. However, for the most part, I'm using command hooks. I've got 5 command hooks that are holding this thing up here. But what I learned when putting this screw in here, these walls are quite thin. You can see I actually came through right there. So it's definitely a learning experience here. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, so looking at the wall behind the door, I got my smoke detector. I do have a carbon monoxide and propane detector over there. I don't really like that those are combined into one, so I may be swapping those out eventually. But anyway, I got my smoke detector. This is actually a Level Mate Pro. This is something else I'll do a video on if everything kind of takes off, talking about the camper and stuff. And then I've got my thermostat here. Right now it's set on 75. So over here, this is our bedroom area. You can kind of see we use the same contact paper on the wall behind the headboard to kind of make it look a little different and give it a little more character. And I think it does. We kind of like the way it looks there. But anyway, so we've got cabinets or dressers, whatever you want to call these. We have each of these, one on each side. We just hung a shoe shelf in there to kind of let us put like our clothes in different layers and kind of use that better space. We put a couple of these little cabinet things, or these little shelf things up on top of this shelf up here, and we actually put the kids' clothes in there whenever we're going. And then that leaves a little area there for my wife. You can see we have these little nightstand areas beside our bed. We put some little shelves up under there, and those little shelves, they make it nice because we can kind of get a little more use out of this area here. But this area is really awkward because of the way it's shaped. You can see there's not really a lot of room to get there. And honestly, these sharp corners kind of make it tough when you're laying in this bed. Speaking of which, this bed is a queen short. It means it's queen width, but it's only a full length, so it's short. My feet hang off the end of it. And I will admit, you saw one of my dogs. Both dogs sleep in the bed with us, and it is an experience trying to sleep with both dogs and then two full-grown adults. Which, now granted, my wife's only 100 pounds at best, and she's like 5'2". But when you put both me and her and two 70, 75 pound dogs in this bed, it makes for a tough sleeping night. But you know what? It's what we do. And it's part of the reason also why we bought the campers, because we were able to load the dogs up with us and take them with us, and we don't have to worry about hotels charging us out the roof for dogs. And it's our bed. We can let the dogs in. They can do what they want. Then, of course, over here you see we've got more decorations. Of course, the window looking out the other side. We've got all the dog leashes, collars with all their rabies information and all that stuff on it. Harnesses, we keep all that here. Just little, decorations. And this is the most interesting one I think I've got right now. This is a speeding ticket I got in Manderson, Wyoming. Pulled off a road doing 70 into a speed trap. It was a very short stretch of 30 miles an hour. I got pulled over and gave a speeding ticket for doing 42 and a 30, and I could literally throw a rock and hit the 40-mile-an-hour sign that was in front of me. And then just not much farther, maybe 200 yards past that, it was back to 70 again. So anyway, this is our camper. We're really excited about it. We've had a lot of good times in it so far, and we're looking forward to using it some more. So anyway, if you did like this video, let me know down in the comments. If you think there's anything that you're interested in hearing about, let me know. Like I said, there's a lot that goes into buying a camper. It's not quite as simple as I thought it would be. I've spent a ton of money, like I said, on upgrades and just modifications to this thing. And true, some of them may be over the top or just not necessary. However, in my opinion, everything I've done has been for safety or comfort. And that's why you buy this thing. You want to be safe pulling this thing down the road, but you also want to be comfortable whenever you're using it. So I don't feel like anything has been just necessarily unnecessary. But it's part of it. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments or questions, just leave them below. And maybe I'll see you again in another video, or even at a campground. See ya.